Hey guys, welcome back to AF Farms for another episode of Silverrun Forest. So, what have we got on today? Obviously we're in a forklift, so this is obviously going somewhere. What we're doing is sort of tightening up our productions a little bit in order to get what we need done for the roller coaster. We've also been stockpiling some furniture, picture frames, other production items in order for a big sale when the price is good. So obviously, just jump into this production here. So this is the flooring factory. So the productions are out of space. So effectively what that means is my storage area is full. So, and this goes for pretty much all the productions currently. So I just need to make some room for new product to spawn. And then the plan is going to be to stockpile them somewhere. So I'll probably just stockpile them on the corner here. So I've got a couple of other forklifts that I've leased for this purpose. One is stationed up near the wood turner. The other one is stationed near the shingle factory, I think. But basically there's two factories side by side essentially on two separate streets. So I've got one forklift for each production. Just so it gives me a spawn point to move the pallets out the way. And also so you can see the pallet respawn pretty much almost instantly. I mean the last one did, maybe this one's not going to. There we go. So I've got about probably 8 pallets worth in storage. So what the game does is it basically just stores them in the back end. You can't see them, and then once you move them out of the spawn point, they respawn, and then they stop spawning once the area is full. So you can see there, another one's just popped up. Now I could use the auto loading trailer for this, however I'd want to make slightly fewer trips with that. So I'm pretty familiar with the Mat Now forklift from the base game, this is the small one. I've used this quite extensively when the game came out to move egg pallets and such. So fairly comfortable with how it drives and handles and all that sort of thing. So just make a quick little visit every day, so every game day, to clear out room for these production items. So we'll go and have a look at the other ones. So you can see there, another one spawned instantly. We've put down a sawmill, so we talked about that in, I think, the last episode. So that's kicking along nicely. We've delivered some, this is off camera, but we've delivered some additional material to the roller coaster, so that's still kicking along nicely. What we do need to do is get the steel production underway. So I really need to get the iron furnace, and I need to come up with a solution for the iron ore. So I've got an area sort of earmarked for having the two productions side by side. So at time of recording, you can actually place the mine shaft on the map. You don't have to use the free central one up on top of the mountain, because the issue I see with that is basically just the logistics of getting up and down, moving the ore around. So much like the trees, if I can centralize those productions, and I've tested on my test map using a conveyor belt system to deliver the iron ore directly to the steel mill, and it works like a treat. So I can theoretically have a constant supply of, so I'm just going to double stack this pallet, so I can constantly have a supply of steel and ore every day. So steel production is going to go through the roof, and then that means we can do the rest of the roller coaster. So we've got everything we need in terms of production for the roller coaster. So we've got the handrails, we've got floor tile shingles, whatever we might need. So for stage 1, obviously we have a bit left, so I'll just do one more and then we'll go over to the other production points. We've also finished cutting down our little plantation forest, so I've replanted that with lodgepole pines because I've got a pallet of those with 240 trees, so that's going to last me quite a while, and I don't particularly want to go a different tree variety when I don't have to, so that's basically where we're at with that. Alright, let's have a quick flyover of this area. So sawmill underway, so we're storing prefab walls, beams, planks and planks long, so you can see them all there. Our equipment lineup is basically the same. We filled up this bunker with logs, we've filled up that one again, so we've got a decent supply of wood on hand if we need it. I managed to rescue this rogue log that was over here. I think I've still got one over this way, potentially. Yeah, this one here. So I'm going to have to pick that one up at some point. Don't know how I got over there, but got over there. This is the plantation forest, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows of trees with, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 trees in each row. So a couple of hundred trees in there. That one's original. New low loader. So last episode we transported our shipping container pallet to the sell point, made nearly 100 grand, and we've got our timber runner for the sawmill up near the north of the map. So with this sawmill here, I'm basically just bringing logs over manually, putting them into the trigger, and then selling them straight away. Well, not selling them, but sending them to the production point. So they can, so if we just jump in here quickly, you can see what volumes we're running at. So 54,000 takes about 75, I believe. So that's kind of where we're at with that one. Roller coaster materials, so we are plank materials needed, so we've got planks long. So the metal is what's holding us up at the moment for the roller coaster. So let's get over to our forklift. Okay, so this is the furniture shop. So we've got a stockpile of tables and a stockpile of chairs that we've been currently banking. So we just what I'm going to do is kind of pile these up, bring the auto loading trailer over when the price is good, and we are going to sell these in bulk. So the trailer will take about 20,000 litres, so if I have roughly 20 pallets, that'll be a full load. You can see straight away I've got a table spawn. So the tables and chairs actually fetch a pretty good price, so we should make decent money out of this operation. So I think June is a good time to sell tables and chairs, so both or one of the other. I can't remember exactly, I'll check momentarily, but yeah, just that'll give us a good cash boost, which will help us to fund the steel production. So that's basically the next job for the short term. Then after that, we're probably looking at cotton production so we can get some fabric for the boat. And then once we've got that underway, we'll have everything we need to start feeding the boatyard, so we can try and get a boat to launch. Maybe not every day, but every second day perhaps. Because the other issue too is I've got to get that forest time to grow. So I've got a feeling it takes about 1 to 2 years in game for them to reach full height. So what I should have done is had a secondary plantation growing while I was harvesting the other one. So basically, as you cut one down, the other one grows, so you've got a constant supply of mature trees. rather than having to skip forward a whole bunch of days and deplete your productions, which isn't so much of an issue because I've set them to storing now, so they won't produce anything if the storing is active, because once they run out of space they basically stop producing. So it's not going to deplete my timber stock to any great degree. But these tables just keep coming. Alright, let's do a couple more and then we'll go over to the wood turner. And I think I've got that set to just creating... So we get another one spawn. Handrails at the moment, because I know that they are definitely used for the roller coaster. There we go, just had another pallet pop in. Okay, let's take the forklift up to the wood turner. So you can see we've got another little stockpile underway here. So we've only got one pallet. I would have thought we'd have a bit more. Let's have a look what's going on. Okay, staircase, railing, wood, planks long. Pepper grinders turned off, planks. So the pepper grinders and the bowls are turned off. So it should just be focusing on the railings. Alright, let's go and move this guy out the way. So I've tried to group them together so when I come in with the trailer, it'll just pick up the one variety. It won't cause me an issue. So I'll just leave him there. So we've got... Now we're over at the picture framing factory. And we are running out of material. So I may have... Yeah, so it's short on planks long at the moment. And I think we've got... Yeah, over here we've got the shingle company. So what I'll do is I'll go over to the shingle company, make a bit more room. So these art supplies are just there to sell. Not too worried about them at this stage. But I think the shingles form part of the boat. So if I can get them stockpiled, and then when I need to use them over at the boatyard, I'll just come grab a load. I may even start to have a little bit of a storage area in the adjacent farmland, because obviously I'm going to try and purchase that at some stage. So I'm not going to worry about double stacking these because they're already quite high. So I'll just come over here every so often, grab a few pallets, and just sort of keep it ticking along. We probably also need to do a load up to the sawmill, so we might do that in this episode as well. Just because I think the old sawmill is getting a bit low. Yeah, so that's 7,000 litres, so we're definitely going to need to do a load up there. One thing I do want to try and do is the road train as well, so not sure if I'll do that this episode or next episode. I also need to get a load of wood to the wood turner. So the wood turner takes planks and just wood. So it takes both items to fill up its production volume. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of shingles, something tells me. Okay, let's get that unloaded. Let's see how many we've got in storage. Okay, yeah, so we are getting low. So unless we're at the floor tile. Oh, the floor tile factory is the one that's got the most. Yeah, I've got a few tables. Alright, we'll let that run for a little bit longer. Alright, let's get our load up to the sawmill. So we'll jump in our trusty Volvo L180H, and we're gonna take from. So you can see the saplings there in the ground. So they do take a while to grow, but direction I'm not going to take from there, because that log is going to wreck my loading. So that was the one we rescued from the other pile. Let's line this up. Get in there nice and deep. Give it a tilt back and a flick, and see if we can't get a good grab on that. Not quite. So let's see if we can drop that one log and give a grab on that. So a little bit of a smaller load this time, but still it'll work. Alright, let's grab the truck. So the trailer that I'm looking at has a second hitch on the rear. This one doesn't have a second hitch, so therefore you can't connect a second trailer with the dolly. So that's something we want to look to purchase, because basically what it will do is it'll allow me to do less trips to the large sawmill. So just make sure we're lined up there. And I'll probably have to take the high lift Volvo up there as well, so I can unload. So it's going to be interesting to see if it is actually any more efficient, because once I've loaded and unloaded, I've just got to handle it again, which may not be the most efficient option because of the auto loading function at the actual mill. Just want to be able to reduce my... But then it's also the transit time to and from, so whether that works out to be better or worse, we're just going to have to find that out. Okay, let's get that closed. Should get a good grab here. Sort of. Alright, we should be okay. Let's see if we can get this up. Alright. But failing that, if I have two trailers, so one back here at the main yard loading and one unloading, and then I'm able to switch them. I'm just going to maybe back this trailer up a little bit, so I can have the two sort of working in tandem a little bit. Let's go back just a touch. So that way the investment in the second trailer and truck is not going to be all for nothing if it doesn't work out. So okay, let's get this log grapple to open. Looking pretty good. Alright, good to go. Alright, let's drive this up, drop it off and get on to our next job. So I also need to... I don't think you can destroy that tree. No, thank God. That would have been really annoying. I think if you have crop destruction turned on, you could possibly run over the saplings and destroy them, which would really defeat the purpose in planting them in the first place. Alright, train's gone. So the area I'm thinking for the iron furnace and the ore mine is going to be just on the left here. So in this little flat area next to the power lines. So this area is purchasable. Oop. So I'll have plenty of room for equipment storage, those two production points, and whatever else I need to put in there. So kind of separates the two that go together. Obviously the Need to focus on driving this thing. So those two production points obviously go together quite well, so it makes sense to have them next to each other. And then the timber yard, we've got the logging setup with the sawmill, and we can utilise 2 sawmills here. That's not an issue. So that'll just help us to create more timber products for our productions. It's just the downside of the travel. We're probably going to look to purchase the paper mill as well. The only issue I have with that is its location and being able to get the log truck to where I need to go. So it may not be practical. And then obviously I've got to cart the paper rolls back to a central point, unless I choose to auto sell, but I think the boat might be a little bit more lucrative. The other option too is I put the paper mill close to the... we get really unbalanced today. Could be because the logs are stacked up to the left side a little bit. Okay, let's try and angle this in without rolling. Wow, it's very sketchy, eh? Okay, let's try this. Do we have any productions up here actually that have spawned? Oh yeah, prefab walls. So I've got prefab walls set to storing up here because I can use the big auto loading trailer for them. And we are away. So let's untension strap those. So we've got 10,000 litres. So this would probably give us, I would say, close to 20, maybe 30,000 litres. So we can carry on. Alright, what were we going to do? We're going to look at the... potentially the iron furnace. Alright, so let's have a look at used vehicles. So nothing great there at the moment. Let's have a look at the farmland. So we need to go back to our on, yep. Alright, so this little plot here. So we can't buy the yellow section, but we can buy field 42, which is a reasonable 36,000 slits. Let's grab that. And let's have a look at... So we'll jump into the build mode, fly over there. Look, we might even put these down now, eh? Just want to sort of survey the area first. So nice and flat. You can see it sort of slopes up here going uphill. And it's reasonably well suited for this purpose, I would say. So let's have a look at productions, factories. So iron furnace and mine shaft. So let's have a look at the mine shaft. So this is going to cost, I think we'll have enough money. Let's turn snapping off. Oh, maybe it only rotates one way. Okay, toggle snapping on. Rotate. Toggle free mode. Yep. So maybe this has... Maybe this can only go at 90 degrees. That's a bit strange. Normally you have the ability to rotate freely, so toggle free mode on. So let's see if this makes any difference. So that's zoom in, zoom out. Tilt camera. Yes, we know about that. Rotate item L1. Okay, let's zoom out. So it looks like we're going to have it So one thing you'll notice with the 250,000, when the price goes up, basically what that is doing is slightly terraforming the ground around the build point. So if we go, so we want to have that iron ore production. So we want to have the yellow spout thing facing outwards as much as possible. So if we go here, okay, and then we have the iron furnace. So what we want to do is we want to have the iron furnace conveyor belt, which is, you can see the little slippery slide thing going up to the top of the smelter. And then we just need to see where the pallets are going to come out. I've got a feeling. So you get the pallets come out the back. So I'm just moving it onto the ground, the dirt ground, so we can see. So I need to be mindful of how we get those pallets out. So if we go essentially side by side, yeah, so if we go side by side, run a conveyor belt, then we've got access to the pallets out on the side there. I think that'll work. Okay, so let's go back to this one. So turn that around. Okay, so it's probably going to need to be on the right hand side. So let's get this snapped into position. So I want to push it back as far as possible. And I think I can zoom out any further. Overlaps with another object. So I think this is going to be the best spot. So let's put that down. So that's 250,000. And then we want to go potentially right here. So this will probably work out great, actually. So I'd have no need to. So I'll go back a little bit just so we don't get any issues with the pile. And then that pallet point, so you can sort of see the yellow tape area is at the front of the building, which will make it nice and easy to collect the ore. So let's go back just a touch. Double check our proximity. So I think that is going to work great. So let's just I don't want to interfere with that. Yeah, so I think that greyed out area is basically the extent of where the pile will grow to. So I just want to give myself a little bit of room. The last thing I want to do is have to delete this and move it. Alright, I think I'm happy with that. Cool. Now, so we've got steel production. Okay, let's go and check it out. Go and drive out. Where is it? So we're going to go sell a load of tables and chairs to help pick up the cash flow. And we don't have any other bills because I've dwindled down that loan to about 140,000. And we can really start cranking out that steel production, so that will be awesome. So here we go, let's walk the area. So we should have our pallet area here, which we do. We've got our loading point for the iron furnace directly next to the iron ore, so it's a short transit from there to there. And the rest of the area is essentially redundant because there's nothing at the back here that we can interact with. Maybe the door. But basically the business end is this part and it's got to go into here. So that will, and we've got easy access for that. So let's have a look at. Cool. All right, let's leave that video there. Thanks for watching, guys. Next episode, we're going to set up a bit of a conveyor system from here to here and start to get our production underway next episode we're going to sell some tables and chairs to help boost our cash flow, but really the steel is where it's going to be at in terms of really ramping up this farm. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.